Today I want to talk about identity, and specifically the identity of people who work in the church, whether you're a high-capacity volunteer or a church staff person or even maybe a pastor. I want to talk to you about identity, but first I want to tell you about this book. It's not a sponsored post, by the way. I just really think it's a great book. I've been reading it lately. It's called Atomic Habits by James Clear. It's a book about building good habits and dropping bad ones, but he starts the whole book not by talking about structure and talking about goal setting. In fact, the specific thing he starts the book talking about is he talks about identity. He makes the case that identity is very closely tied to your habits or the things that you do. So, for example, he says that athletes are people who tend to work out on a regular basis. And the flip side of that's true as well. People who tend to work out on a regular basis also consider themselves athletes. So there's a high correlation between what we do and who we think that we are or who we see ourselves as. The same thing goes for ministry leaders. People who think that they are a leader tend to do the things that leaders do. The problem is that a lot of ministry leaders don't consider themselves leaders. They consider themselves servants, or maybe they consider themselves like a high-capacity volunteer or like a church staff person, but the real leader is the leadership team, like maybe the senior pastor or the executive pastor. Those are the leaders. I'm just a staff person. What I want to do is I want to challenge you to consider yourself a leader, because you need to be doing the things that leaders do. Leaders encourage, leaders inspire, leaders motivate, leaders coach people along, leaders develop other people, they evaluate performance and try to improve their area that they're responsible for. Those are the things that leaders do. Those are the things that you should be doing as a ministry leader or a department head or high-capacity volunteer or whatever you consider yourself. If you make the mental shift to say, I am a leader, I'm responsible for these people, and I'm responsible for their development as well as the development of the whole team and how we get better at it, then I promise you that your whole team will start to perform better. Here is a clip from one of my favorite philosophers with the exact same idea.
Whenever I'm about to do something, I think, would an idiot do that? And if they would, I do not do that thing.
If you want a copy of Atomic Habits by James Clear, send me an email to scott@trained.org and I will send you one of these 2 copies here or one of those 2 copies there. And you just include your mailing address and the name to ship it to. I'll pay for the shipping to make sure that you get the book.